Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Forever Film Crew podcast.
Let's
Today
get it, yeah.
we have a brethren from Jamaica,
Yeah,
the
all
one
the way
and
from
only
Yard.
Dunkley, Acquille
Yeah, man.
Dunkley.
Happy to be here, yo. Love what you guys doing.
Yeah, man.
man.
Yes,
sir. Respect,
Thank you.
respect.
Thank you. Props to you, bro.
Yeah, man. I guess we're twinning today with the white shirt and the
Right.
I clearly
Yeah.
didn't get the memo. I mean,
It's
She
a
had
yard
a
man
red
thing.
jacket.
It's a
Yeah,
yard man
clearly
thing.
I'm just
Or maybe you're colorblind, who knows?
maybe we'll get that checked out after the pod.
Yeah, man. So Dunkley,
Yeah, man.
photographer, visual artist.
Yeah, man. Overall visual artist, because it's just
Right, different
there's just so
mediums
much
of visual.
different. Yeah. So
Right.
much different things that I do and that I can do.
Yeah.
So I just fit it all under visual artist.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Let's break it down. So started with photography, right?
No, started with graphic design.
Oh.
My dad is a graphic designer, so
Oh, really?
yeah. So growing up, I was just used to seeing Mac computers, people where he worked,
Yeah.
everybody working on Photoshop and Illustrator at a young age.
Tough.
So that's what got me interested in it first. And I remember making logos for friends in high school, Woolmer's.
Yeah.
Woolmer's Boys High School. And I just never looked back from that point on. So I started as a graphic designer for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And then when did the pivot to photography take place?
Well, the whole trajectory of how I gained a lot of skills, it all came from the need to want to express myself better or picking up a skill so I can tell these ideas a bit better or without relying on anyone else. So graphic design, as you know, you need stock photography or you need some form of photography to add
Yeah.
typography to. That's what makes like editorial design, right? So I got tired of getting stock imagery online. So I learned photography. So I
Yeah.
could do my own photography and then mix graphic design with that.
Right.
And then I went to school for photography and graphic design. And then
Yes.
I ended up leaving with a BFA in photography
Nice.
in college.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tough.
Nice. How was that experience?
College was
School.
great. I went to art college too. So I went to Savannah College of Art and Design in
Nice.
the Atlanta branch.
Yeah.
So I moved from Florida born and raised Jamaican. Then I went to Florida when I was turning 17. Then I got way more into photography. I got a Rebel T3 Canon. So I started as a
Anything
Canon.
starting with a Rebel, just
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
OG. You know?
Yeah, the OG started with a Rebel, and I right after high school I went into SCAD, and the college experience was going to art school at that. Like I remember being blown away the first week. The art library was insane.
Right.
Like, it was just an entire floor, just like art related books.
Okay.
And I just got lost in that. Just got lost in the visuals of editorial, like the mixing of photography, graphic design, or art history, fashion as well, fashion books,
Yeah.
all those stuff I was just diving into. And then my homework was taking photos, which I think is like one of the coolest things to say.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you guys, what about you guys? You guys can relate.
Yeah,
You just finished
for
up
sure.
film school.
Yeah. For our homework, it was like, oh, go make a short film or, go write a film or edit your film. And that was the beauty. Even in high school, like, we took video technology classes,
Right.
middle school as well, and literally your class assignments were go make a video with friends and with your classmates. And then that's your assignment. Same with like photography too. That was an
Yeah.
elective we had in class. You go out there, take a couple candids, do a
Right.
black and white photo or a photo of this, all this stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how it's done.
So you think school improved your technical competence?
Yeah, for sure. Going to SCAD, it wasn't just all art, right? The thing I liked about going to SCAD is that they forced you to take other classes on other art forms. I had to take art history. I had to take business class. I had to take printmaking. So it was a different forms of art that they force you to. Not force as in physically force, but you had to take you had to get other credits from other different topics outside of your major to graduate. And also it taught me discipline too. Not a lot of people know this, but if you miss 4 classes at SCAD, you fail that class.
Oh.
So it was extremely rigorous,
Yeah.
where you had to be on top of your game. And being among other artists who take it seriously too, it made you want to, keep your game up. So I remember late nights being in the photo studio, just experimenting with lighting, emotions with lighting. Shout out to all the friends that we would be up after 12 a.m. just like experimenting. Just planning cool concepts. Even now, when I look back, it has taught me so much on how to be on top of the game when I'm working with clients,
Right.
small budget or not, making sure that everything is well organized.
100%. On that topic of you mentioned clients and translating your creative work field into a career.
Yeah.
That's something in the artist and creative space that we struggle with, filmmakers struggle with, is getting clients and getting work and turning that passion of yours into an income,
Sustainable income.
So how do you manage through that? How have you managed through that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'll start in the beginning of what I said at the top of this podcast. I dove into new things for the need to just wanting to create more stuff so I could express myself, right? So I never allowed not knowing how to do a skill or not being able to work with someone to prevent me from getting stuff done. So what I encourage people, especially people in the film industry, is if you find yourself not getting jobs or you don't know where to look, start from within. Create fake clients, create fake projects, and exercise your skills and execute those projects, right? And after you've done that at least 20 times, those 20 projects, at least 3 to 5 of them is going to be golden. With those 3 to 5, you put that on a website and you look around and see what upcoming businesses or your friends and family could use your skills. And you align your portfolio of the 20 you've shot, and you show them the top 3 or 5 of the best ones that's aligned with whoever you're reaching out to. And I guarantee the time it takes for you to put in to do the 20 projects, you will learn so much, and you didn't have to rely on anyone. Now, let's say it's film and you need people, right?
Right.
Find ways where you can shoot with friends or family and yourself, because you can do it. We live in a day and age where you can have with technology, you can do a lot of
the
stuff.
selfie cam.
Exactly, selfie camera or whatnot. But people want to see great work, and let's say if you're they call it a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy. Let's say if you're in the zone where you're like, oh, I can't. If you want to see good work, go to film festivals. Look on the top films in your in the range of the work you want to do.
Right.
See what they do. Everything is on YouTube now. They call it YouTube University, right? So you literally have no excuse. If you don't have money, you can use a cheap Samsung phone that's for $60 and film. And what a lot of people don't have is the vision.
Yes.
It's true.
A lot of people who have the money and have the equipment, they don't have the vision.
Yeah.
But if you can exercise by practicing, you can train your vision into doing something amazing, because you're feeding your mind into all these things. So that probably was a long-winded answer, but hopefully it made sense.
No, it definitely makes
that was
sense.
a great answer.
I think that goes back to, you mentioned YouTuber University, even like they have a thing called Streamer University.
Yeah.
Like with Kai Cenat and those guys.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that, what they actually talked about on that, and that was like, you don't need like a 4K camera to, capture shit. Like you can capture shit on like a 360p. I know it's not going to look the greatest,
right?
But like it's about, what can you do with the tools you got?
Yeah. You can turn that 360p camera into your story. You could write a story and say, oh, it's a POV from someone who is lost and they got kidnapped and all they found is this 360 camera to capture their last moments. Something like that, tied into the story.
Creativity.
But instead of saying, oh, I don't have a 4K camera, I only
can't
have this
film it,
360. Right. Build with what you have. And this tying back to what I'm saying of how I got the skills I did, I just started with what I had and learned what I could and then just kept going. And nothing stopped me,
Love that, bro. How did you get into digital fine art? And when did you first get exposed to that as an art
that's
form?
a great question too. So when I moved from Jamaica to Florida, South Florida has a really good fine art culture. So I got exposed to going to art shows like when I was 17 and seeing artwork selling for like tens of thousands of dollars. And that's when I first realized like, oh wow, people are actually making a living and making money with this. And I entered a couple competitions as a high school student. And one of those competitions I got into and I won like I was one of the people who won the competition, and I got to go to Salvador Dali's museum in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I had artwork that I submitted on the same wall as Salvador Dali.
There you go.
So that was like a huge motivation of, all right, this is fine art. Not the work I was doing, but just being around it and seeing like, oh, there's an industry for it. So that, and also going to art school, and there was art shows that we went to every week. Like we had to do art shows for class. We had to like put art shows on for class and all that. So that exposure is what got me into that. And then the digital fine art aspect, that's kind of a term I coined because it's digital art that I make on a computer, but the approach I take is as if someone is painting or doing printmaking or sculpture. So I'm giving it that same reverence and respect and importance, but it's with digital art. So that's where that came about, is learning this software called Blender 3D.
Right.
Which is
Blender.
Blender 3D. It's mostly used for like movies and games, like video games. But I got tired of shooting photography with the limitation of you can only film or photograph people at a certain time. If you have an idea at 3 a.m., you can't hit up friends or all your friends and say, yo, I have an idea, let's shoot at 3 a.m.
Right.
So with that limitation, I picked up Blender 3D where I could build scenes. Sorry to hit the mic.
All right.
Where I could build scenes from scratch.
Yeah.
So that's where me learning Blender came from. For those of you who don't know, Blender is a 3D software where you can build hyper realistic scenes. So that's where that came about.
Yeah. So with into that transition with Blender and creating 3D art and stuff, what risk do you think that is for you with AI and everything?
I would say before even going to AI, I would take a step back and say what risk it was going into NFTs. Remember NFTs a couple years ago?
That whole thing,
how quietly that faded out.
Right.
So being as I quote myself, a digital fine artist, imagine getting calls and messages every week during that NFT time with people who didn't care about my work before caring about it now because they saw how much millions of dollars people were selling images for.
Right.
So imagine them blowing up your phone and saying, when are you going to do NFTs? When are you going to do NFTs? They didn't really care about my work. It was more about the
money
hype,
grab.
and the money grab. And to be honest, it took me so long to understand like the Web3 concept of NFTs. And I didn't even get to understanding the NFT part. I only understood like the foundation aspect of it. Like the how do I say this? The foundational core behind NFTs. NFTs was just a small part, but I was interested in the foundation part, right? But the NFT part, it was a thing where I just didn't see why the craze was going on when it wasn't necessarily about the art.
Right.
It was more so about the hype
Yeah.
and the technology around it.
Yeah.
And for me, when I'm doing my digital fine art, more specifically the Jamaican themed digital fine art, it was always about bringing up good cultural memories with people. And those things occur when people gather together in person. So NFTs and the whole digital space, it was against where I was trying to go. I wanted to put on actual art shows. That's where, the name fine art comes in. Actual art shows, actual experiences. And then to answer your question with AI, I want to still maintain a way where I'm telling authentic stories through culture. And AI doesn't know how to replicate that.
Right.
AI only feeds off of data that you give it, and that's already there. And
It's true, it's a good point.
no one has my mind and my experiences
Truly.
as much as I do. So I'm not worried about it at all. I do use AI like every day to concept because it's faster than Google when I'm researching.
Yep.
So I use it for research. So I'm not going to sit here and say I don't use AI. I use it, but for research. But yeah, I'm not worried at all in terms of like AI.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's touch in the exhibitions.
Yeah.
You held your personal exhibition in Jamaica. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was called Reimagining Cultural Memories.
Right.
That was the most recent one, but I did my first solo one in Jamaica called Island Influences. That was in 2022.
Yes.
Yeah, that was in 2022. What about it? What do you want to know?
How did you go about setting it up, conceptualizing, designing the space? What approach did you take in curating that exhibition?
Got it. Yeah. So before I answer that, I have to explain what the subject matter was. So the subject matter was Jamaican art that I made digitally with Blender 3D. And it had hyper realistic scenes that brought memories up of Jamaican people or Caribbean people. And recently, other people from different cultures have been reaching out saying that they relate to it too. Okay. So the beginning was always my first show needed to be in Jamaica because it's about Jamaican people. I wanted to invite all walks of life, like people from all walks of life, the taxi man, the barber, the jerk man on the street, because this is what the work was about. It wasn't about gathering fancy collectors to hopefully buy it so I can make money. It was more about how do I inspire a community?
Real people.
Yeah, how do I inspire like a community of people? How do I inspire potential artists who want to see other avenues they can make a living instead of your traditional dentist or lawyer, all that, right? Yeah. So during my time in college, I just took notes. Like I became a sponge and just soaked up a lot of information of how do people put on art shows, all that kind of stuff. So with that knowledge, I also, right after college, I got a full-time job. So that helped a lot. I was a motion graphic designer in the movie industry in LA, right, in Hollywood. And that was a huge help in the terms where, because I had a steady job, I had good credit, and I had a credit card. So not many people know this, but the first art show was on my credit card. It didn't get funding. Shout out to Berger Paint and Shirley Ralph and Paperboy JA for being the only people who answered my calls. Well, a family friend got me the Berger sponsorship to get free paint for the show.
Right.
Paperboy JA discounted a couple prints for me, and Shirley Ralph did a whole lot by inviting her friends and showing my work to people who needed to see it. And also Etienne, big up Etienne and the whole Walk Good family.
Walk Good.
Yeah. So, it was rough. I didn't get financial support per se for that first show, but I put the show on my credit card knowing that I wanted to inspire a community and just a desire of getting this work out there. And it was well worth it. And the show was, a huge success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to that, man.
Thank you.
And that kind of needles into a question I got more about back to Blender and just, working in these, sometimes hours, some consuming times, like high stress environments, like, especially something like Blender, because this is coming from an editor like Premiere and everything.
Right.
Like,
Blender is complex.
Yeah. So I can't imagine, you're working on this and then boom, crash, you know, all this. Like, how do you, maintain composure doing that, like working through your art and, not letting it get to these points where you're just, how do you stay level-headed?
Great question. A lot of the times when I'm doing experiments, I remind myself, I believe Joshua Solas told me this one day. He said, always remember, either he said it or I said it, I don't remember. But he said, always remember, no one is asking for this.
Right.
Which means, like, to me, it's not that important. No one's asking for this. It's not the end of the world. You're not saving lives. You're an artist. Yes, there's respect to that. There should be respect to it, but you're not a essential worker.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the day if something crashes. It's frustrating for sure. But I've also learned throughout the years that a lot of people put self-inducing stress on themselves by putting deadlines on things. And a lot of the times it doesn't even need that tight of a deadline.
True.
You're just excited to get it out.
Yeah.
And then you just,
Right.
Relatable.
And it causes so much stress.
Yeah.
And I've learned that being a bit organized helps me to pace myself. So if I'm finding myself being stressed out, I'm able to look on my agenda and like just move stuff away from that day where I'm crowded and just like pace it and say, oh, this is not as important. Let me bump it to next month. And then being organized again, I'm able to write down ideas that I may not get to till next year. So I'm able to just pace myself. So I'm always trying to keep a level head of what I actually need to do at that moment and not let excitement stress me out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's important because it's very easy to get super excited with what we're doing.
Yeah.
Especially
For
when
sure.
you're seeing your ideas come to life.
For sure.
You know?
And also clients get excited too.
True.
And they'll say, oh, I need it now. And then when you rush, they either take a while to get back to you and or they take a week to get back to you and then they hit you up and say, oh, hey, can you change this? But it's due.
Can you change the music?
Right.
It's due right now.
And it's due right now. And a lot of the times it's really not that important.
Right.
They're just excited.
Yeah.
So whenever I do work with clients, I try to find out where does the excitement end and where does like logic
necessity
come in and necessity come in.
Because that's another good point is like, I work with a lot of clients for editing and there's times when, at the end of the day, they have their own vision, right?
Yeah.
And my job as the editor, as the contractor is to, get their vision to life with my tools.
Right.
What I'm able to do. It's like, but sometimes, if they're, unfortunately not so creatively inclined, like they're just, more in the business, whatever they know, but like they don't know the technical aspect.
Right.
They may not understand like the struggles or like the do's and can'ts or whatever of what you're trying to capture for the image. And then you try to capture that and then they're like, oh, make it poppy or make it this.
Right.
And you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, they don't know how to express themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I, from a standpoint of having creative directors in my past job, or in your case, the client is a creative director because they're paying you to do it.
Yep.
A lot of the times they don't understand the weight behind their notes.
Yep.
They think like, oh, just change this. They
Right.
think like, oh, it's a quick fix because
No,
it
that
took a
changes.
few seconds to type it.
Right.
But those few seconds could take hours to actually fix.
Yes.
Right.
And they don't understand the weight of that.
True.
And it's a thing where no matter how you try to explain it, they won't ever understand.
Yeah.
But what helps me is from the get-go, try to nip it in the bud from the jump to say, when is the actual due date? When do you actually need this?
Yeah.
And then a lot of the times a client will calm down if you hit them with a rush fee. So that's one thing too, where if they're saying, oh, I need it in 3 days, I'll say, okay, that's gonna be a rush fee right there.
Right.
And they may back off and say, all right, actually it could be a next week thing or two.
Right.
You know, so
Scare
it
'em a little
really
bit.
depends. Yeah. But as a creative person who's working commercially or a freelance, you have to be thick-skinned and you have to defend yourself as well, because these clients are vicious. Like they don't. A lot of them do not respect the art form,
Right.
Right.
And they always question themselves. They always question you, like, oh, it's not supposed to be that much money. Why are you, But you're not. They don't understand that they're not paying you for the actual hours you're working on
art.
that project. They're paying you for the skill set it took to get there.
Yeah.
True.
So, and they don't get that. They don't understand.
And that goes back to a question I have about that, the respect in clients. Has there ever been a time when you've worked with a client or worked with someone, you've done a graphic for them, a video or whatever it is, and then like you see like they post it or whatever, and then but they like repurpose it. They like do their own rendition. Maybe they change a song or like they like put something over it. Like has that ever happened? And if so, how does that make you feel?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a really good question. I know that this is gonna resonate with a lot of people. When you are working for other people or with other people, it is no longer 100% your work.
Yeah.
So when I work for teams, like I either at an ad agency or I'm working with a client hand in hand and they're a part of the creative process, I have let go of all possibility that that's going to be fully my work anymore. So I have I don't feel a way if the client's going to take what they paid for and mess it up or switch it, because I already detached myself from it from the jump.
Fair enough.
Now, in the beginning, I didn't understand this, and it would piss me off. It would piss me off that the creative director came and they're only enforcing their own ideas, because that's a issue in itself too, where creative directors want to create, but they're enforcing their own opinions on it, and that could mess up your psyche if you don't understand or get it in your head quick. That once you're working with somebody or more people, it's not 100% yours anymore.
Right.
Now, if it's just you, then just you. You can take your time and build however you need.
Right.
But if you're on a team, it's not yours anymore.
100%. That's a good point.
So how do you maintain stability with all the ideas that might be floating around in your head? You spoke about being organized on the calendar. You actually developed your own calendar at one point.
It was like
that?
more like a product, not really like an organization tool. But it was more like a product.
But I feel like that product is also a product of your own personal workflow. Yeah. Because you're the Trello guy. For those who know
Trello.
you.
Now I'm on Notion. Yeah, I'm on Notion.
Notion.
Yeah.
What's Notion?
Notion is a organizer with code blocks.
Oh.
So it's very modular. So you can add a code block where you have text, and then underneath that you have an image. Then underneath that you have a audio file. And then you can drag each blocks and put them side by side or below each other. And they also can link to each other too. So let's say if you have one file where you're talking about this, and then you have a calendar file in a different folder, you can link back to that one. So it helps with like project managing and just ideas, or just writing ideas down.
Tough.
Where Trello is great. I love Trello when I use it in the beginning, but Notion, like, it's just a
It's
bit more.
better.
It's not necessarily better, but for free, it gives you more tools.
Okay.
For free. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Trello is still great, but you'd have to pay for the tools that Notion gives you for free.
Got you.
So yeah, I'm not knocking Trello.
No.
It's just that's how their business model is set up.
Got you.
Yeah,
But yeah, talk. How do you maintain stability. And keeping your mental in good standing?
Right. Well, it's hard because I'm probably gonna be like, this is probably gonna be a rare encounter where a full-time artist mentions this. It's hard right now, especially on my body, because when I get in the zone, I can go without eating and moving for the whole day. Like there's all the time where it's like 4 p.m. and I'm sitting down zoned in because a client work is due and I haven't moved. That's really bad on your body. And I'm feeling it now. Like, I'm going to be 31 in November. Like, and I'm feeling my shoulders because of my posture. Because I'm just zoned out all the time. So stability-wise is good because I'm not moving. But mentally, which I would expect that's more of what you were anticipating. Mentally, I'm good, because I'm privileged that I get to do artwork every day. So I'm good in that front. But now I'm taking the physical aspect and making sure I'm getting my steps in for the day. Me and my partner Nikki we have a walker at home, so I have a standing table too. So I'm making sure I'm standing. So I'm not just sitting for hours anymore. And then now with the walker, I'm walking while working now. Because it's rough when for years you can just put on headphones and zone out for years. And there's issues that happen with that. Also eyesight, like I wear glasses 24/7. So, but those are the sacrifices that artists don't really talk about.
True.
But it's very, very real. And just to conclude, being organized helps the stability because I'm not scrambling every time. Like if I have to call my parents, I'm putting it in my agenda. If it's someone's birthday, I'm putting it in my agenda. So I'm always I try to be on top of things by just putting it in my agenda because I know I may forget. And a lot of people like to write stuff down, but you can forget that you've written it down and forgot it. But with technology, I can set reminders. And I can set up with Notion, I can set up like very smart and in sync ways of like jotting things down that will remind me certain times and all of that. Nice. So I'm not scrambling all the time or like forgetting things because of that, organization.
Do you do anything else like meditation or journaling?
I journal probably once a year. It's really bad. It's like really, really bad.
New Year's.
Yeah. Like I have it in my night table. I journal once a year. I'm not gonna say like, I journal every day. Nah, I'm a visual-minded person. I'm not picking up a pencil every time. I barely read unless it's a magazine because I love the visual element. I just started getting into audiobooks here and there. But no, journaling rarely, and I do breath work as I'm stretching.
Okay.
Because of like my shoulder and neck giving issues because of me just being around my posture. I do breath work as I'm doing that, and then I want to get back into yoga too. Walk Good LA has been like an amazing.
Walk Good.
Yeah, man, has been an amazing way to. They introduced me to yoga and I saw the importance. And long story short, like I realized like yoga is, in a simple term, it's like when you stretch before PE class.
Yes.
It's like literally that. Like if you break it down like that, because a lot of the times there's a lot of stigma around yoga. Which I didn't know until recently. But yeah, it's literally just stretching. And breathing and clearing your mind. And clearing your mind is very important too, because I'm stimulated the moment I get up because I'm always thinking about the next idea, the next visual. So I'm stimulated 24/7 and actually need to practice more yoga so I don't have to so I can clear my mind.
It's great for the mind, not just the body, the mind.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. No, I was going to say, because that's something we talk a lot about. Just ways finding inspiration, whether it's through a journal,
Right.
even if it's once a year,
Right.
or, yoga or sports. But if there's any message you have for people that are struggling to find inspiration or, feel like they're falling out of their craft, because I feel like it's easy to fall out of that craft, especially since you're not making money off it. Or you're just not hitting the marks, you're not getting the views or whatever it may be. But any messages you have for people that are struggling?
For sure. That's a great question, and I have a great answer. So split it off into two ways. Ask yourself, are you making the artwork for you or are you making it for people? If you're making the artwork for yourself, then you shouldn't need the lack of money or the lack of resources to stop you, because let your passion be the drive to go find those things, right? Nothing's easy, right? Now, if it is a way where you're not making money and you need to pay bills, I'm totally fine with getting a 9-to-5 job, working at Target as a cashier, saving up my money just so I could do my artwork when I get home, because I'm doing it for me. So I don't mind. I refuse to believe in starving artists.
Right.
If it's not working out and you owe a lot of people money and you have a lot of debt, get a 9-to-5, get a part-time job, pay off the debt, stay on top of things. At least work on that. And then the little hour you have left in the day because you just came home from work on your craft. But I don't believe in just suffering with the whole sake of, look, it's a sacrifice. I really don't believe that, because you lose a lot of friendships through that and a lot of respect from people. Now, if you're the other person where you make art for other people, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's people that are totally happy with going to a 9-to-5 or doing artwork for other people. These are like people who do camera operations for podcasts or camera ops for daytime shows. Like those are industry jobs where you're not necessarily working for yourself, but you're just showing up to work, right? Creative or not. If you work for other people, then find out what the people want and then do that, because you're working for other people. So just find out where the money goes and you should be okay, because you're not working for yourself, or you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for other people. So I would split it off in that way. Now, it may seem like I'm simplifying it. It's not easy at all. But if you are the first person where you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it for your passion, you can still do it, even if it's writing the ideas down or practicing it every now and again, or getting a 9-to-5 job and then working late at night on it. Because that's what I did for 5.5 years.
Wow.
I had a full-time 9-to-5 job working for an ad agency. I got tired of the work, but after work, I was just working on my stuff for the hour or so before I went to bed.
Right.
And then on Saturdays, I was working on my own stuff.
Wicked.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's no excuses unless you're not able-bodied or you have like your basic needs not being met, which is like rent's not being paid, water, all that. That's when I'm like, okay, something gotta shake, and you have to put that on pause to make sure your priorities
100%.
are straight.
Right.
First. Yeah.
So that was some great insight, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
think the viewers will benefit from that.
Yeah.
I want to big you up for the Prime Minister Youth Awards.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
bro.
you, bro. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. That's big.
Respect. Thank you.
That's big. So that came after your exhibition in the National Gallery?
That was 2024. It was... Wait, the exhibition in the gallery. Oh, no, the gallery was... the gallery was December, and next year the gallery was December 2023 in the National Gallery of Jamaica. I had artwork in the National Gallery of Jamaica in December 2023, and then that March or February, I heard that I got the National Youth Awards for Arts and Culture for Jamaica.
Wicked.
Like a couple months after that.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, and that was some very interesting times too.
Yeah.
Because I had recently left my day job.
Yeah.
And I did not have money going down to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was one of the most difficult times of my life,
Yeah.
because I left a 9-to-5 job to follow my dreams
Yeah.
like fully, and it was a very scary time for
Yeah,
sure.
a leap of faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. So you also do music.
Well,
Most people may
Beats,
not know that.
soundscapes.
Well,
beats.
I would
Talk
even
to us
say
about
I
that.
do music because I don't actively do it. I wouldn't call myself a musician. Nikki would say I'm a producer, but I don't call myself a producer. I'd say I pick up skills out of the need to
Express yourself.
express myself in a limitless way.
Yeah.
So that started in college, where I was making these short film concepts, and I got tired of pulling stock samples online. So I downloaded this software called Traction Waveform. It was like $60 at the time.
Yeah.
And that was in 2018.
Zine.
And I have learned and dove in that software from 2018 until now. So that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was just making cinematic sounds for my visuals.
Yeah.
So when I make music now, when I produce music, I'm thinking visual first.
Yeah.
So it's always these cinematic soundscapes that you can plug into like a soundtrack for a movie.
Yeah, man.
And it's like some nights I'm just experimenting, not knowing what I'm doing, and then I learn how to play by ear to like get like good chord progressions.
Yeah.
And then just this year I started learning how to actually use music theory and sound engineer, mix and master my music. So
Nice.
I'm working on like a secret project right now
Yeah.
where I'm gonna be
Oh.
incorporating that kind of stuff I've been working on for like 7 years.
Right.
But yeah, that's like only like friends know that I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
making
top
music.
secret.
It's on the hush.
Yeah, it's on the hush. Cause I'm even now I'm still afraid to say I'm a producer.
I'm telling you, bro, you're downplaying it. I've heard the stuff.
I think
And it is top
think we need
tier
to
stuff,
we need to
bro.
hear,
I
like-
want them for my movies. You know?
I think we need to hear like a Apple Music edition of Dunkley's just collection,
of
you
the
know,
work?
like
Yeah,
a Clams
we need-
Casino vibe, just
Yeah.
in there. Just
Man,
need that.
I could say like the stuff that I sent you before, those
Yeah.
weren't mixed, those weren't mastered.
Zin.
I started learning how to mix and master. Like I
Yeah.
started learning like
That's a
actual music theory, like scales and chord progressions and all that. And my work has just shot up
Yeah, man.
way more than what you heard before. Like it's
Fantastic.
insane the stuff that I because I didn't give up because it was uncomfortable learning something new.
Of
But I
course.
just
Yeah.
kept at it over 7 years.
Right.
But I didn't have any deadlines.
Right.
I realized no one's
passion,
asking for this.
It was for you.
It was just for me. I was just experimenting, not knowing what I'm doing. And I felt like a kid again, just like exploring like in a playground.
Yeah.
playing
know?
on the keys. Yeah.
Yeah, just experimenting.
One of the themes from this podcast is being limitless.
Yeah.
You know, and having limitless expression.
Right, right.
And how art can provide that. I think that's a great point that we haven't necessarily touched on
No.
so far in the different podcasts that we've done. But I think that ties in nicely with our name, Forever Film Crew.
Right.
You know, and
I love the name.
Thank you. You know, Forever has that limitless feeling, you know, and it's also before we were thinking about it in terms of post, but it's also forever and limitless in the doing, in the expressing, in the act, you know. And for me, you know, I can relate to having that itch of wanting to express myself,
Right.
but writing it wasn't doing enough, or taking a picture wasn't doing enough. So I went for video.
Right.
You know, and similarly, I have lots of interest in music. You
Yeah.
know, I think, you know,
Not a lot of people know you have a couple of rap songs.
Yeah.
This guy,
Yeah.
me and him got a couple bangers
Yeah.
in the vault,
Yeah.
but also out too. You know,
some tunes, man.
I keep trying to get this guy going. He's like, oh, I'm not a musician no more.
I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper, bro. But
Yeah.
I'll have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, man.
But that's even the idea of how much of a difference music and sound can add to your films and projects.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
for
see it day
sure.
and night, like the goats of the music world to film, like Hans Zimmer,
Right.
John Williams, all those guys. I think that they, even that is just like goes to show like how much that, like not just the visual but auditorial, like just captivates the audience and hooks you, from the jump scares to the risers, the happy, sad. It gives you that
Right,
feeling, that real
right.
feeling.
Yeah.
True.
Because you get to hear it. It's a different sense.
Yeah.
You know, the more senses you add in art is the
Yeah.
more immersed someone
Yes.
is. You know, so touch, seeing, hearing, and just the whole notion of feeling.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure.
Question now. You think there will come a time when we'll actually involve the taste sense?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's already there, but it's not in places that you'd think.
But on that topic of taste, like, in 4D movies, they have like smell. Like sometimes, like if it's like
Right.
like on screen, like someone farts, it'll be
Yeah.
like the smell in the theater or
I
something
experienced
like that.
that at, I think it was Universal.
Yeah.
Like they'll have like, I think Lilo and Stitch. I think Lilo Stitch is the alien one, right? Or no?
Yeah.
think so.
Yes. Lilo is a real person. Is a girl. I think.
Stitch burped, and then there was like this in your seats, it let out air that smelled
Yeah.
like garlic.
Wow.
So it was just like a bit immersive, right?
Yeah.
So with taste, it's in ways that you wouldn't really expect. So like if you think of a candy store, a candy store has like marble everywhere and bright colors, and
Yeah.
you smell the candy. So that's two senses already. You're looking, you see the bright colors, you're smelling the candy, and you're tasting the candy too. That's 3. Music is playing. That's
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
And then touching the candy. So that's 5 senses in a candy store.
Right.
Just like that.
Facts.
That's why food is so big,
Facts.
because that's why restaurant is so big too.
Yeah.
You're incorporating all 5 senses.
Right.
Overload there.
Yeah, and so that's why the food industry is huge, and that's why the music industry is huge. Also, not because of the 5 senses of music, but because you're storytelling in a melodic way, and that's one of the best ways you can tell stories is through that. Film even even further higher than music, because you have not only sound from music, but you have visual as well. You know, so yeah. So candy store. I just
store.
realized.
No, that was a
candy
great
It's a candy store, bro. That's
Yeah.
what it's like.
We're cooked. No wonder I have so many cavities.
Yeah.
Yo, so let's go on a little more serious note now. Because earlier let's get serious.
Let's get serious.
Talk about
Can we get serious?
talk about the bills. It costs money to
sure.
make these beautiful, incredible pieces of art.
Yep.
What's the kind of financial support that artists and you as yourself as an artist has received, and what would you like to see differently?
That's a great question. So I'll speak in general first. Generally speaking, in America or in foreign countries outside of Jamaica, there's a lot of grants that artists can apply for. There are a lot of opportunities for artists to get funding, but a lot of the times artists don't know how to look for it. They don't know that it exists,
Exactly.
and they don't know how to look for it. And I'll answer that question no. The first thing you have to do is, what I've realized over the years of applying for artist grants is, they want to give you money if the work you're making has a social impact or a message that is in line with their agenda. That's not a good or bad. And well, it's a good thing, yes, but it also could be very specific to their agenda.
Right.
So in a way, if you don't fit their agenda, you're not gonna get a call back.
Right.
So that's what I mean by it's neither good or bad. And then the other way is they want to give you funding if you're helping the community in some certain way, in some way. And that's why I love Ouagadele, because they help the community 24/7. And a lot of companies want to get in on helping too. And the best way they do that is through donation.
Right.
So with artists, art is powerful in that way too.
Yeah.
So you can get funding if you hit up a government entity or organization and say, hey, I want to photograph these people in these underrepresented areas. I need help though.
Yeah.
And then you make like a 5-page essay of why it's important. Chances are they're gonna look on you to give you some money, but you have to know how to apply, when to apply.
Yep.
And then sometimes a lot of these companies, not companies, but organizations and artists, they hire grant writers. There's people who get paid to write grants
Right.
because they know what those grants are.
What the people are looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what was the other part of that?
If how you'd want to see it change.
And then, how I'd want to see change. Or I did mention I was going to answer generally. And then, change would be start working on things that help the community. Like a lot of the times, majority of the times, honestly, 9 times out of 10, a lot of artists talk about themselves. They talk about, I do this work because I felt this way and I was going through this and that's why I did that. That's good. That's fine. But if you reword what you're saying when you're asking people for donations or grants or just getting people involved, you can reword it and say, my experiences allowed me to realize that I'm not alone and other people are going through this. So me showing this work is in hopes that other people can connect to it too. So it's literally, it could be the same body of work, but because I took myself out of it and made it a us thing, you feel more involved now.
Right.
So the change that I'd want to see is more artists being a bit more selfless and saying like, hey, the stuff I'm doing, yes, I'm doing it because I love to do art, but I also want to help people too. And at the end of the day, like, why should people care that you did a painting that you enjoyed and you want to put it on a wall? If you did it for yourself, then you'd enjoy if it's in a living room, right?
Yeah.
Or in your living room.
Right.
So why would people invest their time and money to go to an art gallery to see the work that could have been in your living room? So give them the reason to make them show up to an art show. Give them the reason for people to pay you to have an art show. And that's the route I take when I'm doing my art show, when I'm looking for funding, is I'm telling people like, hey, people actually like enjoy looking at work they can relate to. And I love making those shows so people can come together and enjoy it in unison. And that's how I approach my work. It's not about, I grew up and I remember the jerk chicken and the domino, so I just wanted to show what I grew up around. It was more, I know people like me exist and they want to see it too.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show them and give them a reason to remember about what they grew up on. So I completely remove myself and make it about community.
I like that. Collective.
Yeah, for sure.
Something
For sure.
I found fascinating when I mentioned to JP and we had a guest on, Amanda.
Yeah,
Cohen.
I know Amanda.
Yeah. So I mentioned a little bit about the culture of film in Jamaica versus in the U.S. and I want to know from your perspective, the differences, the comparisons, of that.
Culture of film in the U.S. and versus
Just like
Jamaica.
just
Jamaica.
It could be just what you see and then also your personal experience.
Yeah. That's a hard question to answer because I've just recently started going back to Jamaica more often and meeting some of the filmmakers. But I do know that more often than in the past, independent filmmakers are having the opportunities and the voice to tell their story. And there's some amazing films that I've seen over the years. JP's film included
Believe.
1938 and
Yeah.
Believe.
Which you
I
worked
also
on.
worked on 1938 as well. But yeah, and I'm friends with some of these filmmakers too.
Yeah.
And I would say too that I think the main difference is in Jamaica, the community comes together and helps you make that film.
True.
Like everyone pitches in and comes together
love
and
that.
get that film done.
Yeah.
There's multiple times I'm on set on different shoots in Jamaica, and I've seen multiple like mutual friends just there helping out.
Facts.
Where in America, if you don't have your niche group of one or two people, you have to pay everybody else on
Yeah.
set. Now, nothing's wrong with paying people. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying automatically, like the communities is so reachable in Jamaica.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
soon as you say, hey, I want to shoot,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I'd say that would be a main difference.
Yeah, I can echo that and say my experience too being here in LA is it's a lot more transactional.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they want to know how they're going to benefit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whether status wise or financially.
Right.
You know, whereas in Jamaica, it's a lot more about the art and just the vibe of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that might be because the industry isn't as developed. You know, so there's pros and cons to a well-established industry.
Right.
And our goal is for Jamaica's industry to grow and to get a lot more established, you know, and a lot more structured.
Yeah.
And so maybe as we build that structure, we should implement a particular culture that preserves community, you know, so we don't lose that element. We were talking to our friend Govin, who is from India.
Yeah.
And India has a lot more of an established, structured film industry than we do in Jamaica. And he said they're very community driven. So they could be a case study on how the two are possible, you
Yeah.
know, to have structure
And then have
and have community.
I also
same
heard
way.
London as well.
Oh yeah.
London, they're not afraid to give grant money to upcoming
true.
artists. They're not afraid to throw money at people who are doing something for the community.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point. To
Yeah,
make.
man.
Like how to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
in
True.
Jamaica for sure.
But yeah,
Yeah,
we
man.
you know, nearing the end here, we obviously want to give you a big up.
Thank
you
you,
for
bro.
coming on the
Yeah.
pod.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Yeah,
Bro,
thank you.
gems.
your gems. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
But you know, as we mentioned, but for those of you who are listening, you know, can't end the pod without doing a blind rank.
Let's
You
do
know,
it.
as
Let's
we
do it.
talk, for you know, blind rank. For those of you who don't know, basically, you know, we give a topic or whatever it may be. In this case, choosing photo cameras.
Okay.
All right, you know, little photography. Basically, you know, once I give you the camera or the list of cameras,
Yeah.
you just got to rank them 1 through 5. 1
Okay.
being the best,
Yeah.
right? Best. 5 being the worst in this case,
Okay.
but you can't change it.
All right.
So once I start,
So once it's set,
once you set in
Yeah.
stone,
right.
It's there.
cannot
It's locked
change.
in.
Right. All right. Cool.
As I'm curating the list here, we'll just go down the line here. All right, Dunkley. 5
Yes,
cameras.
sir.
Let's start with number 1. Classic, you know, Sony A7 III. It does both, but you know, for photo's sake.
Right. I think that would have to be number 1 because that's the
Ooh.
camera that took me to the next level for sure.
See,
Whoa,
A7
just like
III,
that.
Yeah. I
Yo.
still shoot with it, so
Yeah.
So that have to be- yeah.
Number 1 off rip.
yeah. There's a high chance that you don't have my favorite photo camera on the list.
Okay.
Maybe
okay.
not.
Yeah. There's a high chance. That's why I was like, let me just go with Sony.
Yeah.
Sony off the
Fair enough.
off rip.
Okay. All right. Number 2, you know, we'll go into the Canon world, but you know, we'll go the Canon Rebel T7.
Okay.
A little more on the budget, but you know.
I'd say 3.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say 3.
Some sentimental value there with the
Yeah,
Rebel
yeah,
family.
I feel like with the Rebel, it's always like I think every photographer was starting off that.
started off
Even
a
in photo
Rebel.
class, that's what we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 3 here, let's just go classic Polaroid camera.
Have to be 2.
Yeah.
For the memories for sure.
Yeah.
Have to
And
be
the
2.
tactile element.
Yeah, exactly. Have to be 2.
I feel like because film lasts forever. Is that what they say, JP?
That's
Who
what they
said
say,
that?
man. Stanley said that. The great Stanley.
All right. Okay. Valid. Let's move up to the. Trying to pick a good one for you. Trying to give you.
I'll throw one in.
Okay, go ahead.
Hasselblad.
Ah, yeah,
For 4.
that would have been my number 1. So I was doing good up until this point. So I have to rank it 4 then. Yeah, but Hasselblad would be number 1 for sure.
Yeah.
I got to rent that out in college.
Mad.
Yeah, the craziest camera, 100 megabytes per image.
Wow.
Yeah, like one file, 100 megs, but the medium format quality was unlike anything. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, you
And
got me with
that was
one.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got me with that one.
And then, I got to show love because no one shows love to the Nikon.
That's 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 5.
I feel like it's funny because even when I was getting into film, I remember like always being like interested in the Nikons and like wanting to get to them. But I feel like they just, I haven't heard Nikon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did it,
film
man.
wise, up until last month, September, do you know that Red and Nikon combined and made a camera now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
Red software in Nikons now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
jump for them.
stepped the game up. And then Fujifilm has a film camera now, like an actual like cinema film camera now.
Okay.
First camera ever. It looks
Wow.
it looks like a Sony. It's like the same body or similar body as a FX6
Yeah.
or a
FX6
big like Canon camera, like film camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
So last month was a big month for film gear for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We
then
need to tap
Canons
in.
came out with I think 2 new cameras, I think, or 1 as well.
Nice,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I started with a Nikon.
Really?
I remember watching those videos of like the reviewers in maybe, somewhere in Asia.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool, seeing all the lenses and hearing the shutter.
Yeah.
I remember watching those videos all day long, man. And man, I was always trying to replicate the way their photos looked when I was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I was like, how did they get
How
it
did
to
you get
look?
it like?
And I was like, okay,
You're
well,
like,
the
my
back-
f-stop is the same. I
man,
swear, my
everything
ISO.
is the same.
Yeah.
But then I was like, the location, and that's
Yeah.
when I fell in love with destination capture, either photography or
Right,
film.
right.
Just really being in the place,
Right.
It get a different vibe.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. No, yeah. Even when you're on budget too.
Yeah.
I do a lot of black and white photography. Black and white, like it's my professor in college used to say, if the photo isn't good, just print it large and turn it in black and white.
Yeah,
That's
And
a good-
like literally half the time it will make it look better.
Yeah,
if
it does,
you
it
do
does.
in black and white.
Cinematic.
So
Yeah.
same thing with the location. Like if
Yes.
your location's not that good, just throw it in black and white.
Facts.
And you might be
That's so
surprised.
funny.
Yeah.
It's funny that that's true.
It's
Yeah,
true. You get
yeah.
some shadows. They're like, oh,
Whoa,
Right,
I can
right.
feel the symbolism.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
all right, but
Yep. Yeah, man.
yeah. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
your
Yeah,
time,
Man,
bro,
thank you for having me.
Thank
This
you,
was
thank
good.
you.
and your
Yes, sir.
knowledge.
Yeah, man.
This won't be the last.
Absolutely
won't
not.
be the
Let's
last,
do it.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
This was
tune
great.
in, guys, and we're out.